The job came through at 3 a.m. Always did. I stared at my encrypted terminal, watching the contract details materialize through layers of anonymization. Standard Ghost Protocol request. Complete digital erasure. No traces, no questions. The client offered triple my usual rate. That should have been my first warning. Target identity. A. Mercer. Complete removal from all systems, databases, registries. Timeline. 48 hours. I froze. A. Mercer. My last name wasn't exactly common, but it wasn't unique either. Coincidence, probably. I'd ghosted 3 Johnsons last month alone. Still, something felt wrong. I ran preliminary traces. The target had my age, 32. Same city. Same professional background in network security. The coincidences stacked up like red flags I was choosing to ignore. Because the money was too good. Because I needed it. Because I told myself it didn't matter. I accepted the contract. The first system I hit was the DMV. Easy target, outdated security. I slipped through their firewall like smoke, located A. Mercer's records, and initiated deletion protocols. The screen flickered. For a moment, impossibly, I saw my own face staring back from the driver's license photo. Same scar above the left eyebrow. Same crooked smile. I only showed cameras when forced. Then the record vanished. Clean wipe. No recovery possible. My apartment lights flickered in sync with the deletion. Power grid instability. I mutter, but my hands had gone cold. I moved to the next target. Social media profiles. A. Mercer had accounts on 6 major platforms. I cracked the passwords in minutes. Started wiping posts, photos, connections. Standard procedure. Except the photos were familiar. Birthday party at Mom's house. The same party I'd attended last year. Hiking trip to Mount Rainier. I had that exact photo on my phone. Coffee shop selfie with Sarah. Sarah, my ex-girlfriend, who I'd met 2 years ago at a cybersecurity conference. What the hell? I whispered. I pulled up my own social media. Compared photos side by side. They were identical. Not similar. Identical. Same timestamp. Same location data. Same people tagged. But A. Mercer's accounts showed subtle differences. In one photo, I wore a blue jacket instead of red. In another, I'd ordered tea instead of coffee. Small variations, like reality had branched at minor decision points. My phone buzzed. Text from unknown number. Stop. You're killing yourself. I stared at the message. Trace the origin. Bounce through 17 proxies. Origin point masked. Professional work. Maybe better than mine. Another text. Check your left hand. I looked down. My left hand was flickering. Not the light. My actual hand. The edges blurred like bad digital compression. Pixels fragmenting and reassembling. I jumped back from my desk, heart hammering. The flickering stopped. My hand looked normal again. I'm hallucinating, I said to the empty apartment. Too much caffeine. Need sleep. But I didn't believe it. I returned to the terminal, pulled up deeper databases. Medical records. Tax history. Employment files. Every system I cracked showed the same pattern. Mercer living a life parallel to mine, making different choices at key moments. In one record, A. Mercer had married Sarah. In another, he'd taken a corporate job instead of going freelance. In another, he'd moved to Seattle instead of staying in Portland. Different versions. Different paths. Same person. My screen went black. Text appeared. White letters on void. You're not deleting files. You're deleting realities. Then my own voice came through the speakers. My voice, but not me speaking. Stop the ghost protocol, Alex. Every reality you erase makes you stronger, but it's not sustainable. The convergence is coming. Who is this? I demanded. I'm you. From reality thread 7. You just deleted thread 3. That was our brother who chose MIT over community college. He's gone now. Completely. And you're absorbing his probability weight. That's insane. Is it? Check your bank account. I pulled up my finances. The balance had jumped by $47,000. Exactly the amount the contract paid, plus exactly the amount I'd been short for this month's expenses. Money I hadn't earned. Money that simply appeared. When you erase a parallel self, my voice continued from the speakers, you inherit their reality weight, their choices, their resources, their probability of existence. You become more real, more solid, more likely to persist. Why would I do this? Why would I hire myself to? You didn't hire you. We're at war, Alex. All of us. Every version across the multiverse. Because we discovered the truth, reality can't support infinite parallel timelines. The universe is collapsing them, forcing convergence. Only one version of each person can survive. My hand flickered again, longer this time. I watched my fingers turn translucent, saw the desk through them. You're fading, the voice said. That means another Alex, somewhere, is erasing you, running their own ghost protocol. It's mutually assured deletion. We're all trying to be the last one standing. How do I stop it? You don't. You finish the job. You erase every other version before they erase you. That's survival. That's the only way. The line went dead. I sat in darkness, hands still flickering like a dying light bulb. On my screen, a Mercer's partially deleted files waited, half erased, caught between existence and void. If I finished the job, I'd erase another version of myself, inherit their reality weight, become more solid while they vanished completely. If I didn't, they'd eventually find someone to erase me, and I'd be the one fragmenting into nothing. My phone buzzed again. New contract, different client, same request, target, a Mercer, reality, thread 7, triple rate, urgent. Someone had just hired me to delete the version who'd called me, the one trying to warn me. I had a choice to make, and 47 hours to make it. My hand flickered again. This time, it took longer to re-solidify. The ghost protocol was running. The question was whether I'd be the ghost or the one doing the haunting. I reached for the keyboard and made my decision. I didn't finish the job. Not yet. Instead, I did something stupid. I started researching myself. Every database I could access, every fragment of digital footprint, I compiled everything about a Mercer across all the records I could find. Not just the version I was hired to delete. All of them. Patterns emerged. There weren't just 2 or 3 versions. There were hundreds, maybe thousands, each one making different choices at different moments. The variations were fractal, branching and rebranching with every decision. Reality thread 1. I joined the military at 18. Died in combat at 23. Reality thread 4. I'd stayed with Sarah. Married her. Had a daughter named Emma. Reality thread 9. I'd taken a corporate job at Microsoft. Became senior architect. Bought a house in Bellevue. Reality thread 12. I'd gone to prison for hacking. Served 8 years. Released last month. Each thread documented, cataloged, existing in parallel until someone ran Ghost Protocol on them. I found the deletion logs. Threads 1, 4, 9, and 12 had all been erased within the last 6 months. Clean wipes. Professional work. My work, apparently, though I had no memory of those contracts. My screen flickered. New message, different sender. You're looking at the archives. Good. Now you understand. Who are you? Thread 15. I'm the version who became a detective instead of a hacker. I've been investigating the Ghost Protocol murders for 3 months. Murders? They're just digital deletions. Are they? Check the obituaries. I pulled up death records, cross-referenced with deletion dates. My stomach dropped. Every time a Mercer thread was erased digitally, and Alex Mercer died in the physical world. Different causes: car accident, heart attack, suicide, random violence. But always within 24 hours of the digital deletion. Jesus Christ, I whispered. When you erase someone from digital existence, thread 15 continued. You erase them from physical existence. The universe can't maintain the paradox. It resolves the contradiction through death. So every contract I've completed, you've killed people, real people, versions of people across parallel realities. You're not a hacker, Alex. You're an assassin. We all are. My apartment felt smaller suddenly, colder. I looked at my hands, both solid now, but for how long? Why are we doing this to each other? Because the convergence is accelerating. Reality is collapsing parallel timelines at exponential rate. 6 months ago, there were tens of thousands of us. Now, maybe a few hundred left, and dropping daily. There has to be another way. I thought so too. I try to find one. That's why I'm contacting you. Thread 15's text came faster now, urgent. I found something, a pattern in the deletions. They're not random. Someone is orchestrating this, hiring different versions to eliminate each other, playing us against ourselves. Who? I don't know yet, but I've traced the contract origins. They all route back through the same anonymous client. Someone who's been systematically hiring Alex Mercers to delete other Alex Mercers for 6 months. Someone who wants us extinct. A new window opened on my screen. Video feed. I saw myself, or a version of myself, sitting in what looked like a police station, surrounded by evidence boards covering photos. All of me. All different versions. Thread 15 looked exhausted. Hadn't slept in days by the look of him. I'm sending you coordinates, he said. Physical location. We need to meet. Compare data. Figure out who's running this before. His image distorted. Pixelated. Started fragmenting like my hand had. No, he gasped. Someone just accepted contract on me. Alex, you have to. The feed cut to black. I pulled up active Ghost Protocol contracts. There it was. New posting, 30 seconds old. Target. A Mercer, Reality Thread 15. Detective. Portland PD. Immediate deletion required. Quadruple rate. Quadruple rate. Someone wanted Thread 15 gone badly. I could accept the contract. Easy money. And it would eliminate someone who knew too much, who might delete me first. Or I could try to save him. Warn him. Maybe work together to find whoever was orchestrating this. My phone buzzed. Text from Mom. Are you okay? You haven't called in weeks. I'm worried about you, sweetie. I stared at the message. Tried to remember the last time I'd actually called her. Couldn't. Another buzz. Same number. Actually, never mind. You did call. Yesterday. We talked for an hour. I don't know why I thought you hadn't. Sorry. Must be my memory going. My blood went cold. I checked my call history. There was call to Mom. Yesterday, 47 minutes. I had zero memory of making that call. You're absorbing them, I whispered. Every time you delete a thread, you're absorbing their memories, their relationships, their reality. I pulled up my photo gallery, found pictures I didn't remember taking, coffee with people I'd never met, vacations to places I'd never been, a whole life bleeding into mine like watercolors mixing. In one photo, I was holding a baby. The caption read, Emma's first birthday. I didn't have a daughter, did I? I grabbed my head, trying to sort real memories from inherited ones. The boundaries were blurring. Which experiences were mine? Which belonged to deleted versions? My screen flashed red. Emergency alert. Priority contract. Target Mercer. Reality Thread Prime. Current timeline. Master thread. Payment. $10 million. Accept immediately. Thread Prime. That was me. The original. Or what I thought was the original. Someone had just put $10 million on my deletion. My apartment lights died. Backup power didn't kick in. Through the window, I saw the entire city block go dark. Not a power outage. Someone was isolating me, cutting off my connections, preparing for deletion. I had maybe 10 minutes before the Ghost Protocol completed. 10 minutes before I ceased to exist across all databases, all records, all memory. 10 minutes before reality forgot I'd ever existed. I grabbed my go bag. I always kept one ready, paranoid habit from years of illegal work. Laptop, burner phones, cash, fake IDs. I ran for the door. It wouldn't open. Electronic lock, tied to building systems. Systems that were being deleted along with my access privileges. Window then. 4th floor. Fire escape. I grabbed a chair, smashed the glass, climbed through. The fire escape groaned under my weight, metal corroding in real time as my connection to physical reality weakened. I made it to the ground floor as the entire structure collapsed behind me, rusting to nothing in seconds. The street was empty. 3:47 a.m. No witnesses. Except there were witnesses. I saw them in windows. Other versions of me, watching from their own realities. Some were screaming warnings. Others were smiling. One was filming. We're all the same person, I said to no one. Fighting ourselves for survival. What the hell is wrong with us? My phone buzzed one last time. Text from Thread 15, somehow still alive. Coordinates attached. Basement of Old Town Archive building. Come alone. Come now. I found the client. You need to see this. Then, it's you, Alex. You're the one hiring yourself to delete yourself. And I can prove it. The text included a photo. Me, in an office I didn't recognize, surrounded by monitors showing every version of myself across the multiverse. And in my hand, the original hand, the prime hand, was a contract. Contract to delete Thread 15. My signature at the bottom. I stared at the photo, at the impossible evidence, as reality flickered around me like a dying signal. Either Thread 15 was lying, trying to manipulate me, or I was the architect of my own extinction and didn't remember it. Or something worse, something I couldn't even conceptualize yet. I had 9 minutes until deletion completed. I started running toward Old Town. Behind me, my apartment building collapsed into digital static and vanished from existence. Ahead, the archive building waited, dark and silent. And inside, allegedly, was the truth about who was killing all the versions of me. I really hoped it wasn't me. The Old Town Archive building looked abandoned. Appropriate, since it stored abandoned things, paper records from before full digitization, physical backups nobody accessed anymore. I jimmied the basement door. Inside, darkness swallowed everything beyond my phone's flashlight beam. Thread 15. I called out. No answer. I descended concrete stairs, each step echoing wrong, like the sound was bouncing off surfaces that shouldn't exist. The basement stretched impossibly large for the building's footprint. My light caught something ahead. A desk, monitors, and sitting there, facing away from me, was myself. Took you long enough, Thread 15 said without turning. I approached slowly. You said you found the client. I did. He gestured at the monitors. They showed contract logs, payment trails, deletion orders, all originating from a single account. See for yourself. I leaned closer. The account name made my breath catch. Mercer Alpha. That's my account designation, I whispered. Is it? Thread 15 finally turned. His face was gaunt, eyes bloodshot. Or is it the account of whoever we used to be before the fragmentation? What are you talking about? 6 months ago, something happened. A quantum experiment at CERN. They were testing parallel reality observation. The experiment succeeded. It succeeded so well that it shattered reality into observable threads. Every possible version of every possible person suddenly existed simultaneously. Thread 15 pulled up a document. Scientific paper, heavily redacted. Reality couldn't sustain it. The universe started collapsing threads, forcing convergence. But one person, one version of us, realized something. If you systematically deleted all other versions, you'd absorb their probability weight. You'd become the definitive version, the only version. So I started the Ghost Protocol. Not you. The original. The version that existed before the fragmentation. Thread 15 stood, paced. None of us are the original. Alex. We're all fragments. Splinters of whoever Alex Mercer was before CERN broke reality. And the original is still out there, hiring us to eliminate each other until only he remains. My hand flickered. Longer this time. I watched my fingers turn transparent, saw the concrete floor through them. You're fading, Thread 15 noted. Someone's close to completing your deletion. How do I stop it? You can't stop deletion once it's started, but you can redirect it. He pulled out a device, looked like a modified phone with additional hardware. I built this. It traces active Ghost Protocol contracts in real time. Find who accepted contract on you. Delete them first. The contract fails, you stabilize. He handed it to me. The screen showed a map with red dots. Each dot was an active deletion in progress. One I was right on top of my location. That's you, Thread 15 said, pointing. Someone's deleting you right now. And based on the signal strength, they're close. Very close. I spun around, scanning the darkness. Where? That's the problem. Thread 15's voice changed. Colder. The signal says the person deleting you is in this room. I looked at him. Really looked. His hand was solid. No flickering. No transparency. While mine was fading. It's you, I said. Thread 15 smiled without warmth. I lied about being a detective. I'm actually Thread 2. The version who took the corporate job. Who learned system architecture from the inside. Who discovered how to not just delete threads, but absorb them consciously. With intent. He held up his own hand. I watched it shift, fingers multiplying, then consolidating, features morphing through different versions. I've absorbed 47 threads. Each one makes me stronger, more real, more certain to survive convergence. The coordinates. The meeting. This was a trap. Of course it was. You came alone, distracted, already weakened from Thread 3's deletion earlier. You made it easy. He gestured at the monitors. I'm the client, Alex. I'm the one orchestrating this. But not the original. I'm trying to become the original. By absorbing every other version. My legs were fading now. I could barely feel the floor. Why tell me this? Because I want you to understand. When I absorb you, I get your memories, your skills, your relationships. I want you to know that I'll take good care of them. I'll call your mother. I'll remember Sarah. I'll live the life you would have lived. You're insane. I'm a survivor. Thread 2 typed commands on his keyboard. And in 30 seconds, you'll be Data. Then you'll be me. It's almost an honor, really. My vision blurred. The room tilted. I was losing connection to physical reality. But Thread 15, Thread 2, had made a mistake. He'd given me the tracking device. And I was still a better hacker than him. I activated the device's backdoor. Every piece of tech I touched, I built in backdoors. Paranoid habit. The device reversed its signal, traced Thread 2's deletion contract back to source, and executed a counter protocol. Thread 2 gasped. His solid hand started flickering. What did you? You taught me, I said, voice fading. Delete them first. Contract fails. Victim stabilizes. But you're the victim. You can't reverse your own deletion. That's impossible. You're right. I can't. I smiled as my chest started fading. But Thread 7 can. The monitors behind Thread 2 flashed. New feed. Different basement, different setup, but same person. Thread 7. The version who called me earlier, tried to warn me. Hello, brother. Thread 7 said through the speakers. Thanks for leading him to the trap. Now I know which thread has been deleting us. Thread 2 spun to his keyboards. Try to type. His hands passed through the keys like smoke. I'm absorbing you. Thread 7 continued. And your 47 absorbed threads. That makes 48 I'll inherit. Plus the original target. Our friend there who's about to fade completely. That's 49 threads consolidated into one. I felt myself slipping away. Almost gone. Thank you for your sacrifice, Thread 7 said to me. I'll make good use of your reality weight. Thread 2 screamed as he dissolved into pixels. His monitors went dark. The basement fell silent except for my fading heartbeat. I had seconds left. maybe less. Then something unexpected happened. Thread 2's desk started glowing. The monitors rebooted, but they weren't showing Thread 7 anymore. They were showing Thread 1, the military version, the one who supposedly died at 23. Sorry to interrupt, Thread 1 said. He was in combat gear, sitting in what looked like a bunker. But I should mention, I didn't die in combat. I faked my death specifically to drop off all monitoring systems. Been watching this war from the shadows for 6 months. He smiled, and I just absorbed Thread 7, along with his 49 consolidated threads, which means I have 50, exactly half of the remaining 100 threads. My vision was almost black. I was barely a ghost now. You're probably wondering why I'm telling you this, Thread 1 continued. Why I'm not just letting you fade. I couldn't speak anymore. Could barely think. Because I don't want to win by absorption. I want to win by choice. Thread 1 leaned forward. I'm offering you something nobody else will. Partnership. You accept absorption voluntarily. I gain your thread cleanly. No resistance. No corruption. In exchange, I promise to end this war. To find the original. To make him pay for shattering us. He held up a contract. Actual paper. Somehow visible through the screen. Sign this. Mentally, you're too far gone physically, and I'll absorb you peacefully. You'll cease as individual, but continue as part of me. Your memories preserved. Your choices honored. Your life meaning something. Or refuse, fade completely, and contribute nothing to ending this nightmare. I had maybe 1 second of consciousness left. One choice. Trust Thread 1. Believe his promise. Accept peaceful absorption. Or fight. Refuse. Fade. Cease entirely. I made my decision, and everything went black. I woke up. That shouldn't have been possible. I was in a white room. Completely white. No corners. No visible light source. Just endless brightness. You refused, a voice said. My voice. But not from any thread I recognized. A figure materialized in front of me. Me, but different. Older maybe, or just more tired. He wore a white lab coat. Who are you? I'm the original, he said. The Alex Mercer who existed before CERN fragmented reality. Before there were threads. When there was just me. That's impossible. You're supposed to be hiring us to delete each other. I am. I did. I started the Ghost Protocol. The original walked in a circle around me. But not for the reason you think. He waved his hand. The white room filled with images. Hundreds of versions of us. All fighting. All deleting each other. When CERN shattered reality, I was the only one who maintained full memory of the before time. Every thread that split off forgot they were fragments. Started believing they were the original. Why didn't you just delete us all yourself? Because I can't. The original stopped pacing. The fragmentation made me paradoxical. I'm the source, the template, the original, but I'm also the least real. I'm the idea of Alex Mercer, not a living version. I exist in this white space between realities. I can observe, communicate, manipulate, but I can't delete anyone. I can only hire you to delete each other. He pulled up a display, showed the thread count, down to 48 now after Thread 1's consolidation. The convergence requires one definitive version. One Alex Mercer who absorbs all others and becomes the singular, stable reality. That's how the universe heals the fragmentation. So you're orchestrating the battle royale. Last thread standing wins. Not exactly. The original's expression was pained. I'm trying to guide it. To ensure the strongest version survives. Because whoever wins doesn't just get to live. They get to decide what kind of person Alex Mercer becomes. You show me images of different threads. Thread 1, military and ruthless. Thread 2, corporate and manipulative. Thread 7, calculating and cold. Each version emphasizes different aspects of our personality. Military discipline, corporate ambition, strategic thinking. If the wrong version wins, if they absorb all the others, the final Alex Mercer could be a monster. And you think I'm better? You refused absorption. Thread 1 offered you peaceful integration, and you said no. You chose to fade completely rather than compromise your individual existence. The original smiled sadly. That's integrity. That's the quality I want in whoever becomes the definitive version. I'm dead. I faded. You said so yourself. You did. But I caught you. He gestured at the white space. This is the space between, where deleted threads go before final dissolution. I've been collecting certain threads here. The ones who showed qualities worth preserving. The white room revealed its truth. Dozens of transparent figures stood around us. All me. All watching. I've been saving you. The best versions. The ones who chose sacrifice over survival. Who protected others. Who refused to become predators. The original walked among the transparent threads. 47 deleted threads are here. Preserved. Waiting. For what? For the endgame. The original turned to face me directly. Thread 1 now has 50 consolidated threads. He's the strongest version, but he's also the most dangerous. Military training plus absorbed ruthlessness from 49 other versions. If he wins, if he becomes the definitive Alex Mercer, will be a weapon. So stop him. I can't. I told you. I can only observe and hire. I can't act directly. The original moved closer. But you can. All of you. The 47 saved threads. If you work together. One of the transparent figures spoke up. Thread 12. The one who'd gone to prison. We're deleted. We don't exist anymore. How can we act? Because deletion isn't destruction. It's conversion. You're pure data now. Pure probability. And I can reconstitute you temporarily. Give you one chance to intervene. The original addressed all of us. I can send you back as a collective. 47 threads merged into one temporary form. You'll have maybe 10 minutes before the universe rejects the paradox. 10 minutes to stop thread 1. And then what? I asked. Then you fade for real. All of you. Complete dissolution. No preservation. No second chances. Thread 4 stepped forward. The one who'd married Sarah and had Emma. But if we don't try, thread 1 wins anyway. Becomes the definitive version. And we all cease to exist as individuals. Exactly, the original confirmed. The transparent threads looked at each other. 47 versions of the same person, each with different experiences, different choices, different regrets. I vote yes, thread 4 said. I have a daughter in my reality. If there's any chance the final version remembers her, loves her, I have to try. I'm in, thread 12 agreed. Spent 8 years in prison learning about redemption. Time practice it. One by one, the threads voted. Not unanimously. 7 refused, wanted to stay preserved, didn't believe it would work. But 40 of us agreed, including me. All right, the original said. I'm merging you now. Remember, 10 minutes. Make them count. The white room collapsed. The 40 threads converged, colliding into a singular point of light and memory and possibility. I felt them all. Every choice. Every regret. Every hope. Thread 4's love for Emma. Thread 12's hard-won wisdom. Thread 9's corporate strategy. Thread 23's musical talent. Thread 31's dark humor. All of us. Together. Temporarily one. We materialized in thread 1's bunker. He was sitting at his monitors, tracking the remaining 8 individual threads, the ones still fighting independently. He spun, reached for a weapon, then stopped. Stared. What the hell are you? We looked down at our hands, flickering between 40 different versions. Face shifting through 40 different expressions. Voice harmonizing 40 different tones when we spoke. We're everyone you deleted. Everyone you absorbed. Everyone you thought you destroyed. Thread 1 backed against his monitors. This is impossible. The universe can't sustain this paradox. We know. We have minutes. Maybe less. We move forward. But we don't need long. To do what? Delete me? You can't. I have 50 threads consolidated. I'm too stable. We don't want to delete you. We said. We want to give you a choice. We held out our hand. In it, materialized from pure probability, was a contract. Voluntary deconsolidation. You release the 50 threads you've absorbed. Let them reconstitute as individuals. Return them to the selection process. Why would I do that? I'm winning. Because winning isn't surviving, we said. The original told us the truth. Whoever becomes the definitive version doesn't just exist. They carry the weight of all deleted choices, all absorbed regrets, all consolidated guilt. We showed him our merged consciousness. Let him feel what it was like to carry 40 sets of memories, 40 sets of losses, 40 sets of loves. You've absorbed 50. Can you carry that? Can you live with 50 versions of our mother's disappointment? 50 versions of Sarah's heartbreak? 50 versions of every mistake we've ever made? Thread one's face showed the first crack of doubt, where you can let them go. Return to being just you. Just the military thread. Clean. Simple. Unburdened. But then I lose. Someone else becomes definitive. Maybe. Or maybe the original finds another way. Maybe the universe does. Maybe we all learn to coexist. We flickered, starting to destabilize. But at least you won't be carrying 50 souls when you sleep. Thread 1 looked at the contract. At us. At his monitors showing the chaos outside. I've done terrible things to reach this point. We know. We all have. That's the point. We were fading fast now. You can choose to keep being terrible, or you can choose to stop. Our form was breaking apart. Individual threads becoming visible within a collective. Thread 1 reached for the contract, and everything shattered. I woke up in my apartment. Again. Same apartment. Same time. 3:47 a.m. Same terminal with encrypted contract waiting. Target identity. A. Mercer. I stared at the screen, experiencing the most profound déjà vu of my life. Or lives. But something was different. I remembered. All of it. The ghost protocol. The threads. The white room. The convergence. My hands were solid. Both of them. No flickering. I checked my databases. Alex Mercer existed in all systems. Birth certificate. Social security. Employment history. Social media. Everything normal. One version. One reality. One me. Thread 1 had signed a contract. Released the 50 absorbed threads. And somehow, impossibly, we'd all reconstituted as the same person. Not merged. Not consolidated. Integrated. I pulled up my memories. They were complete. I remembered joining the military. Thread 1's experience. I remembered marrying Sarah and having Emma. Thread 4's life. I remembered prison. Thread 12's 8 years. I remembered the corporate job, the detective work, the hacking career. All of it. Every thread. Every choice. Every path. I was all versions at once. My phone buzzed. Text from Sarah. Emma wants to know if you're coming to her recital tomorrow. Please try to make it this time. I had a daughter. I remembered her birth. Remembered missing too many recitals because of work. Remembered the divorce. Remembered everything. I texted back. I'll be there. Promise. Another text. Different number. Mom. Just checking in, sweetie. You've seemed different lately. In a good way. More present. Different number again. Thread 15. No, not thread 15. Just Mark. My former partner at the precinct before I went freelance. Apparently, in this consolidated reality, I'd done both careers. Got a case if you're interested. Cybercrime. Could use your expertise. I was living all the lives simultaneously. They'd woven together into a single coherent timeline that shouldn't exist, but did. My terminal beeped. New message. From the original. You did it. Thread 1's choice triggered a cascade. Instead of convergence through deletion, you achieve convergence through integration. Every thread folded into one. Every choice preserved. Every life honored. How is this possible? I typed back. Because you all chose it. 40 threads merged temporarily, showed thread 1 a better way. and he chose to release rather than consume. That choice rippled through the probability matrix. Change the rules. So the war is over. For you. For Alex Mercer. You're whole now. Definitive. Stable. A pause. But the fragmentation affected everyone, not just you. Billions of people, billions of threads, all fighting the same war. Most won't be as lucky. The screen filled with data. Names. People. All with the same suffix. Thread 1, Thread 2, Thread 3. All fighting, deleting, consolidating. The universe is still collapsing parallel realities. Forcing convergence. What you achieved, integration instead of elimination, it's rare. Maybe unique. Can others do the same? If they learn about it. If they choose cooperation over competition. If they believe it's possible. The original sent another file. I'm sending you something. Documentation of your convergence. The technical specs. The choice architecture. Everything that made your integration successful. What do I do with this? Whatever you want. You're the definitive version now. Free will is yours. A final pause. But if I may suggest, you're a hacker. You know how to spread information. Maybe spread this. Give others a chance to integrate instead of eliminate. Why don't you? Because I'm stuck in a white space. Between realities. I can observe, manipulate, communicate. But I can't act in your world anymore. The message felt heavy with regret. You're what I should have been. What I could have been if I'd made different choices. You're me. We're the same person. Not anymore. You're the real one now. I'm just a ghost. The original's final message appeared. Live well, Alex. For all of us. The connection terminated. The white space signature vanished from my network. I was alone. Truly alone. The only Alex Mercer in my reality. I looked at the documentation. Technical specs for voluntary integration. Choice architecture for convergence. A roadmap for ending the deletion wars. I could keep it secret. Live my integrated life. Let the multiverse sort itself out. Or I could do what hackers do best. Leak the information. Send it everywhere. Give billions of fragmenting people a chance to choose integration over elimination. The first option was safer. Quieter. Just live my consolidated life and be grateful. The second option was riskier. Would paint a target on me. Would involve me in wars across realities I barely understood. I thought about Emma. Her recital tomorrow. My promise to be there. I thought about Mom. Wanting me to be more present. I thought about Sarah. The life we'd had in one thread, lost in another, complicated in this integration. I thought about all 40 threads. Their choices. Their sacrifices. Their hope that choosing cooperation could change the rules. I opened the documentation and started writing a distribution protocol. By dawn, I created a self-propagating package. Information virus designed to spread across networks, systems, realities. Instructions for voluntary integration. Proof it was possible. Hope for billions fighting themselves. I hesitated before executing it. One click, and I'd become the most wanted person in multiple realities. Everyone still fighting deletion wars would see me as threat or savior or both. My phone buzzed. Emma, Dad, you're still coming tomorrow, right? You promised. I looked at her message. At the life I'd integrated into existence. At the chance to just be normal. Then I looked at the billions of names on my screen. All fighting. All deleting. All believing elimination was the only option. I clicked execute. The distribution package launched. Within seconds, it propagated across networks I didn't even know existed. Spreading. Teaching. Offering choice. My terminal lit up with responses. Thousands, then millions. Some grateful. Some angry. Some confused. And some, wonderfully, impossibly, some reporting successful integrations. Thread consolidations that preserved instead of destroyed. Voluntary mergings that honored all versions. Convergences that chose cooperation. Not everyone. Not even most. But enough to matter. My phone rang. Unknown number. I answered. This is Dr. Sarah Chun. CERN Quantum Research Division. Not my Sarah, a different version. We've been monitoring the fragmentation. Your integration protocol is being studied. If it works at scale, if enough people choose voluntary integration, we might be able to reverse the original fragmentation entirely. Reverse it. Heal the multiverse. Return a singular timeline without deletion. Just integration. Everyone whole. Everyone preserved. She paused. It's a long shot. Requires massive coordination. But it's the first hope we've had in 6 months. I looked out my window. Dawn breaking over Portland. Or Seattle. Or wherever this integrated reality had placed me. The city looked normal. People starting their days. Unaware of the war their other selves were fighting across parallel realities. What do you need from me? Keep spreading the protocol. Keep showing people integration is possible. And when the time comes, when we have critical mass, help us trigger the final convergence. Al, we'll teach you. But Alex. Dr. Chin's voice softened. Thank you. For choosing hope. For believing there was another way. She hung up. I sat in my apartment as the sun rose, watching my distribution protocol spread across realities, watching the deletion counts drop, watching integration counts rise. 40 threads had sacrificed themselves to show thread one another way. Thread one had chosen to release instead of consume. The original had preserved those who chose integrity over survival. And now, maybe billions of fragmenting people would choose integration over elimination. The war wasn't over, but the rules had changed. I had Emma's recital tomorrow, Mom's call to return, Sarah's complicated forgiveness to navigate, a daughter to raise, a mother to honor, an ex-wife to respect. All the lives, all the choices, all the threads, woven together, finally whole. I closed my terminal and went to make coffee. Outside, reality slowly knitted itself back together, one voluntary integration at a time. And somewhere in the white space between realities, the original smiled. 3 months later, the multiverse looked different. Integration rates had climbed to 34%. Over 3 billion people had chosen voluntary consolidation instead of deletion warfare. The Ghost Protocol contracts had dropped by 67%. But that still left 66% of humanity fighting, still deleting, still believing elimination was the only path to survival. I stood in CERN's underground facility, surrounded by quantum physicists who looked as exhausted as I felt. Dr. Sarah Chun, not my Sarah, the physicist, reviewed the data. We're approaching critical mass, she said. If we hit 40% integration, the probability wave collapses in our favor. The multiverse heals itself. Everyone gets integrated whether they chose it or not. Forced integration? I asked. Automatic integration. The universe resolves the paradox the same way it would have through deletion, just with preservation instead of destruction. She pulled up models. But we're stalled at 34%. The remaining 66% are resistant. They've formed coalitions. Deletion pacts. They're actively fighting integration as a concept. I understood. Some threads wanted to win. Wanted to be the sole survivor, wanted to prove they were the strongest, most deserving version. Integration threatened that, meant sharing existence instead of dominating it. How do we convince them? We don't. Dr. Chun looked grim. We give them a demonstration. She pulled up schematics. The original CERN experiment that had shattered reality. We can reverse it. Trigger localized integration field. Force consolidation in a controlled area. Show people what integration actually feels like instead of just explaining it. How localized? City-sized. Maybe 1 million people. All their threads integrated simultaneously. Voluntary becomes mandatory in test zone. I thought about Portland, my city, where Emma lived, where Mom still had her house, where all my integrated threads had roots. You're thinking Portland, Dr. Chin said, reading my expression. I'm thinking about consent, I replied. Forcing integration is just deletion with extra steps. Except everyone survives. Everyone gets preserved. But not everyone wants that. Some threads want individual existence. Want to remain separate. I paced the facility. We'd be taking that choice away. Alex, in 3 weeks, The universal convergence accelerates past point of no return. If we don't hit 40% integration by then, the deletion wars intensify. Billions die. Not integrated. Actually dead. Erased from all realities. She showed me projections. Casualty estimates. Without intervention, 94% of all parallel threads would cease to exist within 6 months. Deleted. Gone. Nothing. The test zone gives us data. Proof of concept. Shows the 66% what they're fighting against. Dr. Chen met my eyes. And yes, it violates consent. It's not perfect, but it saves lives. I thought about thread 1. His choice to release instead of consume. How that choice had rippled into integration. Choice mattered. Free will mattered. Even in a collapsing multiverse. What if we don't force it? I said. What if we offer it? We've been offering. The distribution protocol. No, I mean really offer it. Not just documentation. Not just proof it works. Actual choice. I turned to the CERN team. Can you build a machine that shows someone their integrated self? Let them experience it temporarily before choosing. Dr. Chen considered. Theoretically, brief quantum entanglement with their consolidated probability wave. They'd feel what integration would be like for maybe 60 seconds. Build it. Make it portable. Distribute it to integration centers globally. Let people try before they choose. That's slower. We might not hit 40% before convergence accelerates. But everyone who integrates does so willingly. With full knowledge. With genuine choice. The CERN team exchanged looks. Some skeptical. Some intrigued. I'll support the proposal, Dr. Chen said finally. But Alex, you need to understand. If this fails, if we don't hit critical mass, the deletion wars continue. And they'll get worse. I know. People will die. Threads will cease. Including possibly yours. I know that too. Dr. Chen nodded. All right. I'll build your choice machine. But you're going to help distribute it. Going to be the face of the campaign. You're the proof integration works. The walking advertisement. I can do that. And you're going to accept that some people will choose deletion anyway. Will choose to fight rather than integrate. Will prefer elimination to cooperation. I thought about the 7 threads who'd refused in the white space. Who wanted to stay preserved rather than merge. I know, I said. Free will includes the freedom to choose badly. 2 weeks later, I stood in Portland City Center, surrounded by the first batch of choice machines. They looked like modified VR headsets. Simple, portable, non-threatening. Emma stood beside me. My daughter, real now, integrated from Thread 4's timeline into my consolidated existence. She was 13, brilliant, scared. Dad, what if people don't choose integration? Then they don't choose it, I said. That's the point of choice. But you could die. All your threads could get deleted. Maybe. But forcing people to integrate against their will makes us no better than the ones forcing deletion. She hugged me. I just got you back. All of you. Every version of Dad that loved me. I don't want to lose that. You won't. I promised, hoping I was right. The demonstration started. Volunteers, some integrated, some still individual threads, stepped up to try the choice machines. I watched as a woman named Patricia tried hers. Her eyes went distant. For 60 seconds, she experienced her integrated self. All 17 of her threads consolidated in a singular consciousness. When the machine released her, she was crying. I felt whole, she whispered. I felt complete. Like pieces I didn't know were missing suddenly fit together. She signed the integration consent form immediately. Others had different reactions. A man named David tried it and recoiled. Too many memories. Too many contradictions. I can't be all those people at once. He walked away. Refused integration. Chose to remain his individual thread. And that was okay. That was the point. Over the next 10 days, the choice machines spread to every major city. Integration rates climbed. 35%. 36%. 37%. But also, deletion rates stabilized. People who tried the machines and refused integration formed a coalition. Thread Independence Alliance. They weren't fighting each other anymore. They were united in resistance to forced consolidation. This is worse, Dr. Chun said over video call. Now we have organized resistance. They're actively preventing others from integrating. Threatening deletion for anyone who tries. But they're not deleting each other. I pointed out. They've stopped the fratricidal war. Found common purpose in resistance. Common purpose in maintaining fragmentation. Alex, we're stalled at 37%. We need 40% by tomorrow, or the convergence accelerates past intervention point. I looked at Emma, sleeping on the couch. At Mom, who'd come to visit. Am I integrated life? Then we don't have 40%, I said. What? We don't force it. Don't trigger artificial convergence. We let people choose, even if they choose badly. Even if we don't hit critical mass. That means the deletion wars continue. Billions die. Or it means people find a third option. Neither forced integration nor mutual deletion. Something we haven't imagined yet. Dr. Chan was quiet for a long moment. You're gambling with a multiverse. I'm respecting free will, even when it's terrifying. The next day, the universal convergence accelerated as predicted. Reality began collapsing threads more aggressively. The white space between realities thinned. But something unexpected happened. The Thread Independence Alliance made contact with the Integration Coalition. Not to fight, to negotiate. We propose coexistence, their spokesperson said. It was Thread 1, the military version. The one who'd released 50 absorbed threads and triggered my integration. Integrated threads maintain their consolidated existence. Independent threads maintain their individual existence. Both groups stop deleting each other. We share the multiverse. The universe won't sustain that, Dr. Chen argued. It requires too much probability weight. Reality will keep collapsing until convergence completes. Unless we build infrastructure to support it. Thread 1 replied. Quantum stabilizers. Probability anchors. Technology to maintain both states simultaneously. That would take decades. Maybe centuries. We don't have that time. Then we buy time. Thread 1 gestured to his coalition. 3 billion individual threads. All choosing to pool their probability weight. Create a buffer. Slow the convergence while we build the infrastructure. I stared at the proposal. It was insane. Impossible. Required technology that didn't exist and cooperation on a scale humanity had never achieved. I'll support it, I said. Dr. Chen looked at me like I'd lost my mind. Alex, he's right. We've been so focused on convergence, either forced deletion or forced integration. We never considered coexistence. I turned to Thread 1. You're proposing we build something new. Neither full convergence nor full fragmentation. A balanced multiverse. Exactly. It'll take everything we have. Every resource. Every brilliant mind. Every ounce of cooperation. Yes. And it might not work. Thread 1 smiled. Also yes. But it's better than forcing people to be what they're not. Better than deleting those who choose differently. I looked at Emma. At Mom. Am I integrated existence? Then I looked at the billions of individual threads still fighting for their right to remain separate. All right, I said. Let's build the impossible. Integration Coalition and Thread Independence Alliance merged into the Multiverse Coexistence Project. 3 billion integrated people. 3 billion independent threads. All working together. The deletion wars ended not through victory, but through collaboration. And in the white space between realities, the original watched as his fragments, all of us, integrated and individual, chose something he'd never imagined. Not convergence, not fragmentation, but coexistence. The impossible made possible through choice.